what a big stretch. Good boy. Let's bond, not fight. Oh my god. One of my most commonly asked questions are, Yemi, how do you find your style and how do you transition from your old style to your new style, even in sweet suburbia? So first off, let's tackle the whole how do I find my own style. I am not going to be talking about that in this video that much because I actually made a video on it way back. Feel free to watch that first because that video is kind of the introduction to this video. Okay, let's get into the tips. Number 1, know your goal. So before you get into the nitty-gritty, you really should know what it is exactly that you want to change your style into. Doing some exploration and research on what it is that you do like and don't like and what it is that you really want to shift into is really important to begin your journey in this. 2, find your inspiration. You can make a Pinterest board, you can gather some data on celebrities and people that you are really inspired by, and you should try and take notice of what it is that you like about those outfits and what parts of those outfits you think you could wear. For example, for me, some influencers that I really like are Steal the Spotlight and Lynn. As I analyze them, I realize, oh, okay, so this is what I like about your style, and this is how I want to apply it to my style. So when I feel like I'm having a little bit of an inspiration block or I need to really know what it is that I like, I usually go look at their Instagrams or their YouTube channels and I just find inspiration and I just take note on what it is that I really like about their clothes, where do they buy their clothes from, etc, etc. 3, analyze why fashion trends and micro trends exist. You should be analyzing what is the message behind these trends. Most of these trends exist to make us feel like we're missing out, like we are outsiders to our own personal styles. They exist not to make us feel beautiful, but to make profit. Trends tell us that we're inadequate, unfashionable, and not beautiful without whatever it is that they're promoting in that specific moment. But once you realize this is all about marketing and making profit, you realize that there is no real weight to trends. You are free of the shackles of spending so much money on what is trending in the moment. And as most of you may have noticed during the pandemic, we went through micro trends so freaking fast. We had the patches trend, we had the royal core trend. So once you realize that these trends have absolutely nothing to do with how beautiful or ugly you look, it is much easier feel comfortable in whatever you choose to wear for your own personal style. 4, start with basics and build up. When I say start with basics, do not go for the most glamorous and the most outstanding outfit. You will be overwhelmed. If you, for example, like academia, go for nicer button-ups with cute little details. It is very important that you build your wardrobe from the basics first, because if you buy a lot of extravagant outfits first, you don't know what to pair them with. And you're gonna feel like it's not fashionable, even though it might be. You're just missing key items. So always start with the basic items first. It can be a pair of good sneakers that fit with most of your clothes. 5, thrift your first pieces if you can. Buying for a new and unexplored style can be very scary and expensive, so going a more sustainable and wallet-friendly route like thrifting is recommended. I thrifted a lot of my first pieces. I spent about like 2 to 10 euros on each item, which is great for your wallet. Definitely manage according to your wallet and your needs. 6, start small. Start with one item. It can be a top, a skirt, or a vest. This is kind of referring back to my earlier point of buying basics, so definitely keep that in mind when you're buying your first couple items. You can try them with different outfit combinations of items you already have in your closet and then expand later on. Well, he's just completely asleep. 7, try wearing your clothes at home first. Even if it's just in your room, take some photos and videos, and then ask trusted friends for fashion advice or opinions. What I would do is I would usually buy a key piece. So for example, this corset, I would buy this, I would come home and try it on with something first. For every new piece that I buy, I actually wait at least 5 days before I wear it outside because I want to get comfortable with it at home and I want to try it with different outfits first. So I know exactly what I can pair it with. And then I usually actually send videos and photos to my friends that I trust. I ask them for outfit opinions. I ask them, what do you think this would fit with? And that way I get good feedback. I am in a safe space. 8, choose to wear what makes you feel comfortable and pretty. Clothes should fit you and not the other way around. If something about your outfit experimentation feels uncomfortable to the point where you are not having fun or feel comfortable in it, then I would recommend shelving that item at least for now. Maybe you can try it later, but definitely don't wear pieces where you feel uncomfortable. For example, I do not feel very comfortable with a lot of bodycon dresses. I have maybe 2 that I like because I am part of the hip dip club and it is one of my insecurities. And so I wouldn't want to go out and wear a piece that I am very insecure in. So when I do buy outfits that make me feel a little bit less comfortable or make me feel less comfortable than I thought they would, then I will make sure that I usually sell them, donate them, or find a way to DIY them, make them a little bit different, make them feel better for me. However, in most cases, when this does happen, it probably means that the item just isn't good for you.
Okay, bye-bye pa.
9. Get to know yourself. Test outfits before going out and ask for opinions if you need to. Some days you should choose to go out in the outfit you originally chose, even if you feel uncomfortable as you're leaving the house. If you still feel like something about the outfit didn't work or make you feel comfortable when you come back home, go back to the drawing board and see what it is that you didn't like about it. Was it the comfort? Was it the fit? Was it the textures? Was it the color palette? Knowing what you don't like and the styles that you dislike will help you know yourself and your choices better in the future. You'll mess up and feel bad about outfits some days, and that's completely normal and it happens to everybody. 10. Schedule dates with friends that you trust and wear those outfits to those dates until you can wear them more full-time. Going out with friends and wearing the style that you want to shift into is really good because you get to go out in public, but you are with someone you feel safe with. And that adds a little bit of a buffer between you just completely going out into the public and wearing this new style that you are not quite sure of yet. Versus if you're with people that you trust, you can get feedback, opinions, they will take pictures of you, you'll feel a little bit better. It's a little bit like leveling up, you know. You take little steps before you reach the big level up. Take notes of people's compliments and advice with a grain of salt. See what your experimental phase is reminding them of. If there's a celebrity or a person or a specific style, they're like, oh, you look like this. Write that down. Then look for further inspiration in that realm if you want to expand on it more. So for example, when I started shifting into my soft baddie style without really knowing the name of it, because I invented it, people started being like, oh, you could look good in like a baddie style. And I was like, baddie style? But I wanted to be a little bit softer. So I looked into the baddie style, and here in the present day we are with the soft baddie aesthetic that I created. Sometimes they'll tell you you look like something that you extremely would not want to be related to, and that is okay because, you know, people have different perceptions of each other. Sometimes it's great because it'll push you in the right direction and you'll see more and more of what you want to be and don't want to be in terms of your style. 12. Surround yourself with open-minded people. This one is kind of a given, but not always. So if you have friends that are putting you down, maybe you need to look at your friends more. It's never bad if your friend gives you constructive criticism or gives you feedback on how you could make outfits look better. But if you're surrounding yourself with people who are not very open-minded and are not ready to give you a chance with this new style, then you are probably not hanging out with the right crowd. The right crowd can really help you come out into this new style. 13. Learn to push away the hate. Eventually, it'll feel like a minor inconvenience instead of an obstacle that's in your way to dressing the way you want. For example, for the longest time, my parents were very specific about what they liked on me. And unfortunately, that meant that they would give me some snappy comments about my outfits. Eventually, I just learned to say, okay, that's you, but me, I'm a turn up. Am I being extra or are you being basic? Usually it's not about you, usually it's just about them and you're kind of something to talk about or think about. 14, fake it till you make it. If you do not feel confident and beautiful yet, you will eventually. But faking it till you make it is a very good method to basically kind of reprogram your brain. If you reprogram your brain by telling it the same thing over and over, you'll start believing it. Self-love is huge for boosting your confidence. And usually people can tell if you actually are confident because you love yourself or if you're faking it. However, faking it is a step to loving yourself. Unfortunately, it takes a long time to reprogram your brain and feel more positively about yourself and to actually start loving yourself, which is why till then you can keep telling yourself that you are beautiful. You can keep telling yourself that you are comfortable, confident. People often ask me how I find my confidence, and a lot of it is self-love and knowing myself and my preferences. On that note, for people who dress a little bit extra like me or want to dress more extra like me, do not wait for the perfect event or the occasion to wear your outfits. Just start wearing them every single day. Eventually, it's like normal to you. Like everybody will be like, oh yeah, she just dresses extra. And that will become the new normal, and that's fine. For the longest time, I waited for special occasions to wear my nice outfits, and I almost never got the special occasion to do so. So here I am now, deciding that I am going to wear whatever I want every single day. 15. Use vacation times as opportunities. I always go home or go hard on vacation because it allows me to really explore my own style without familiar faces judging me. However, with that in mind, vacation is a great way to spread out your wings and feel a little bit more comfortable in whatever it is that you want to shift into. So take that opportunity if you want. If not, just dress comfortable or dress how you have been dressing thus far. It's no real pressure. 16. Stay persistent. People will first and perhaps always turn their heads around and stare at you when you shift into a new style. But do not let that scare you. They're not always doing it because you look bad, by the way. Oftentimes, it might be because you look really pretty. I keep telling myself that that is why. Choose every day not to think about what other people are thinking, because the chances are that they are not thinking about you at all and you are just a small passerby in their big lives. We are all stuck inside our own heads, and so we don't really think about other people unless it's to mostly entertain our brain or fix a problem. If you stay persistent with your style, you'll notice that it becomes the new normal version of you, meaning that it is the new standard. For example, if you are into grunge and you are slowly changing into that grunge style and people keep being exposed to it more and more, it will eventually just become normal to them, and that is the new version of you that is now the version that they know. 17. Let them stare and write down the good stuff. To this day, when I go out, I often get people turning their heads and looking back at me. In Finland, they will usually stare and not say a single word. In New York City, however, wonderful women of all ages will compliment me and they will say something nice about my outfit, and I always write it down because it really helps me think, hey, I'm doing well. I'm doing okay. My outfits look great. I am beautiful today. So usually I write this stuff down in my journal at the end of the day and remind myself what it is I got complimented on and how I felt about that outfit. 18. Remember that the process is slow. It has taken me years to build a wardrobe close to what I like. I am still changing and constantly evolving with my styles shifting throughout the years. I used to love vintage clothes, then academia, and now I'm more into soft baddie, but this has all taken me about a decade, honestly. 19. Do not rush the process. Rushing the process might lead to regret and an empty bank account. Collect your clothes slowly and keep a list of items that you would want to buy that you think would make your outfit combinations feel complete. So for example, in my case, I had these pair of white boots that I really needed to make a lot of my outfit combinations feel complete. And eventually I found the right pair, but it did take me a long time. Keeping that list is really good because you don't get lost and you don't spend money on things that you don't need, but instead on the items that you know will complete the look. 20. Set a limit on how much you buy and experiment with each month. This helps you regulate your shopping but also self-evaluate on how you choose to embrace your new styles and aesthetics. 21. Don't forget there is no single cookie cutter style. You can mix and match aesthetics and styles as much as you want and however you want until you find the one that's right for you. I have a whole separate video on this if you want to watch it. The gist of it is you should feel free to experiment and find the right combinations for you. So for me, it would be something like soft girl and baddie, I combined the two. Or something like fairy core and academia, I have combined the two. Feel free to mix and match. There are no rules when it comes to fashion. 22, do regular closet cleanouts. Keep slowly expanding your style while also getting rid of your old clothes. This is really important because otherwise you will get a crazy clutter and you do not want that. Especially if you are trying to actually replace these old items. You don't want to keep having them around. 23, ask your friends to keep a list of your fashion goals and fashion dislikes. Sometimes it's easy to revert back to your old style because that's what you know and that's what you've been used to. Having friends to remind you of your goals and your dislikes is really important to help you keep on track. Because usually in the beginning of the style shift, we are still holding on to a lot of the old clothes, they are still in our closet, and we still don't have a clear vision of what we want. I was actually recently caught almost buying a dress that was very academia heavy. However, I was shopping with my friend Gabrielle and she was like, this is very much the stuff that you said you don't want to buy anymore and that you don't want to invest in anymore. And I was like, oh, actually you're right. Is that why I picked up this dress and not because I actually really liked it? Fast forward to a month later, I saw that dress on someone else on the street and I was like, it's a nice dress, but it's not me anymore. And I was very proud about the other purchases that I made because they felt more like the new version of me. And it's okay to sometimes be like, oh, but I missed that. But you really need to analyze, do you actually miss it or are you just used to it? Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful to you, and Cool and I will see you next time.